For personalised, private, no waiting, in-home care. rightathome.com.au. This is Without Bias on SEN.
Hello and welcome to Without Bias here on 1116 SEN, your home of sport. For Bowls Australia, Right at Home, the Right Care Right at Home, Australia's premier in-home care provider, and Tripadil. Roll into your next holiday with Tripadil. Val Febbo here with you. Excited for tonight's show, and usually we do two guests, but tonight I've got one, and I'll get to her in a second because also we are at Club Tweed. The Australian Indoor Championships reaches its crescendo tomorrow. We've got the final semi-final, the men's second semi-final, and then the two finals as well at 12 o'clock and at 2 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you're watching Bowls Australia's YouTube channel for all of the action here at Club Tweed, because it is going to be a mammoth day, one of the biggest events on the calendar, that's for sure. So looking forward to that. But the lady that I have on the show tonight is a right at home emerging para Jackaroo. She's just been to the National Development Series, and she is doing a wonderful thing at the Heathmont Bowls Club later this year. It's called Bowl Parkinson's Over, to raise money for Parkinson's across the nation. They're attempting a world record as well, and we're going to get to that. But I speak of none other than Annette Ruffle from the Heathmont Bowling Club in Victoria, and also, as I said, right at home, emerging para Jackaroo. Annette, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Looking forward to having a chat. And that introduction, there's so many thoughts went through my mind. First of all, there's always something exciting happening in bowls, isn't there? There's always some competitions and seeing new bowlers, experienced bowlers, so many competition that it makes it really exciting. And, of course, the Bowls Parkinson's Over for my husband, who initiated all that last year. So, yeah, looking forward to having a chat.
Yeah, there's enough to make your head spin, trust me, when it comes to bowls, because, and I'm sure you play in a lot of those events, and it's enough to make the calendar look very daunting indeed. But before we get to Bowl Parkinson's Over, I want to ask you how you went at the National Development Series. Your first time at the competition, it was at Club Helensvale a couple of weeks ago. From all reports, everyone had a wonderful time, and this event continues to get better and better. But what was your experience like?
I enjoyed every minute of it. It was amazing to be involved with open bowlers, or the emerging open bowlers, and the rest of the para clan, both emerging and the ones that are in the pathway. So to bowl for, 4 days in a row with experienced bowlers, and, where you keep learning more and more, you put under pressure more and more, it's game after game. Fantastic experience to do 4 days in a row, to be with, talented people, so you continue to learn. So, and warm weather was another added bonus.
Well, especially, I'm also down from Victoria as well, so any chance you get to get up into a bit of sunshine and a bit of warmth is always nice, as I'm experiencing this week at Club Tweed. Definitely a lot warmer than what it is in Melbourne. But your team, you consisted of Katie Astley, Amity Bickley, Jessie Cattell, Kyle Hansen, the informed Jack McShane, Lucas Protopapas, who you know very well at your club at Heathmont, and also Jimmy Reynolds as your coach. So I know you know Lucas very well, but how did you go getting to know all of the other teammates that you had there?
Well, I didn't really know them all. You know them by name,
yes,
but I didn't really know them or talk to them. So it was really good to start that the combination of the para bowlers with the open bowlers, and to get to know them and to bowl with them. It's a very special opportunity and there were 2 para bowlers this year as opposed to one in previous years, so that made a difference. And loved playing the triples with them, and of course, the pairs, the para pairs, and the singles. So you've got a touch of or taste of everything. And by the end, each game we played, each day, you got to know them a little bit better. So, yeah, very enjoyable. Jimmy, I knew Jimmy, of course, but virtually not to speak to. So by the end, I felt like, I really had a lovely little relationship with him, and he helped me a lot with, shot selection and, making decisions, and just, believing in myself even more. You said you can do it, and that positivity is so important in bowls. That self-confidence makes such a difference, because if you stand on the mat and you know what the shot is and you're really confident and trust that you can do it, then the chances are you will. So that was really special. And of course, I had a roomie in Jo Frost, and that was really lovely to get to know her. And we had a lot of things in common that we discussed because of our disabilities. So, other than learning about bowls, you learn about people as well. And, Jack Lewis,
yes,
who was the captain of the blue team, I think. Sensational. Like, he impressed me greatly with his line and length. Just, he bowled beautifully. So, yeah, great experience.
Yeah, Jack Lewis, the best statistical player and the crowned the best player of the tournament throughout the week at the NDS, and also Jimmy Reynolds. You mentioned him and the bowls mind that he possesses. One of the best human beings that I've met in the sport. And what did you take away personally for your game, Annette? What were some of the things that you said, that's something that I can absorb into my everyday game?
I think the confidence factor, playing the shots that I see, being confident in what I call, trusting that, and then trying to execute it. So self-confidence. The other thing that I really stood out was because I'm still a relatively inexperienced bowler in some ways, just standing in the head with other people, calling, the options for their skip to play. It's phenomenal how quick they make their mind up. What, you can do it this, you can do it that. I was just so impressed with, they're all young compared to me, just their knowledge and their experience and their confidence in, calling the shots and then leaving it to the skip, obviously, to make the choice.
Yeah, it's quite incredible the speed in which they do that as well. And and I want to ask, so you went to the NDS, and then last week you played in a test series out at Dandenong, I believe it was, against New South Wales, so picked for Victoria as well, which is another feather in your cap. How did you go with the series overall?
Well, having just said what I did about getting my confidence up, I didn't have my best competition at all, and I came away very disappointed. But you put that aside and you go, okay, what did I do wrong? Or not even that. What is it that I need to do to improve? And I just had, a few of my not so good games, and I'll just go away and reflect and work harder to be better next time. In bowls, the better players are consistent all the time, and that's the big difference. And you have to be consistent all the time to get to that next level, and that's my aim. And I felt at the National Development Series, I put my best foot forward and had quite good wins and had some good matches, and a couple of not so good. But down in Victoria, I'm afraid I had a couple of really good games, and the others left a little bit to be desired. But you can only keep moving on and learning from them.
Right at home, emerging para Jackaroo Annette Ruffle from Victoria joining me on the line here on Without Bias. We're going to take a short break, and then after this, we're going to talk about Annette's project with her husband at the Heathmont Bowling Club. It's called Bowl Parkinson's Over, and it is one of the most wonderful things that I have seen on a bowling calendar, and it's a great initiative, so stay tuned. Make sure you're listening. This is, of course, Without Bias with me, Val Febbo, for Bowls Australia, Right at Home and Tripadil. Book your next trip with Tripadil. Annette Ruffle still joining me on the other side of this to talk about Bowl Parkinson's Over.
For personalised, private, no waiting, in-home care, rightathome.com.au. This is Without Bias on SEN.
You're listening to Without Bias here on 1116 SEN for Bowls Australia, Right at Home, the right care, right at home, and Tripadil. Book your next deal with Tripadil. Next trip with Tripadil. It's one of the better places you can go to book your next holiday. Val Febbo here with you, chatting with Right at Home emerging para Jackaroo Annette Ruffle, who on October 22nd this year, her and her husband Rob are organising Bowl Parkinson's Over Day at Heathmont Bowls Club. They had 42 teams last year in what was a wonderful day. It's a triples event at Heathmont Bowling Club, and it is to raise awareness for Parkinson's. And Annette, I think last year, I believe, was the first one. How was how was it received down at the club?
It was the most wonderful day. We had, triples, 126 people on the green.
Wow.
We had people, family, friends coming to watch. We had helpers getting us organised. We were giving away scratchies for, closest, touches, and we had so many raffle prizes. It was just a fantastic atmosphere. We had a lovely home cooked afternoon tea that a whole lot of people donated food for at the end of the day. It was so positive, and we had speakers at lunchtime. Or my daughter actually spoke because she does a podcast for Shake It Up Australia, who we're connected with, which is part of the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and we all know Michael J. Fox for sure. So, we talked about what the Shake It Up Foundation is, and that's who we're raising money for. And it's actually coordinated by an entrepreneur who pays for every cost. So every cent that's raised goes towards research. So there's no costing taken out of any money that's donated, which makes it really beneficial. And he's a wonderful gentleman. So she spoke about the Shake It Up Foundation. Hopefully someone will come down this year. They were last year, but they actually rushed off to hospital.
Oh, no.
It was just a fantastic atmosphere, and I'm so proud of my husband for stepping up and putting himself out there to raise awareness about Parkinson's, because it is about raising money to help with research, to help, as he says, the future generations. So it mightn't help him so much, but it's for a son or the grandson or the people in the future. And, just to put yourself out there to raise that awareness and raise money, of course. So it's a double whammy. So we want to get the message out there so people can communicate. It is part of a big community, and there's a lot of people out there that suffer from Parkinson's. 38 people are diagnosed every day. So it's quite prevalent, and there's a lot of young onset Parkinson's. So it's not all about old people. So that's what the day is all about. So we're looking forward to doing the second one. It was the inaugural one last year.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes at Heathmont Bowls Club, October 22nd. Now, you mentioned briefly that, it might not help Rob himself, but talk about how it became from a pipeline to realising the dream last year. So what was the reasoning behind Rob wanting to start this? You mentioned that he wanted to help the future generations, but how did it come about?
He just said, I want to do something to get the message out there. And bowls is such a great community for anybody, no matter if you have a disability or don't have a disability, whatever age you are. As I've said before when I've spoken to you, anybody can pick up a bowl and can learn how to bowl, and it doesn't matter what age you are. And he said he wanted to get people out there and doing it. And when you've got Parkinson's, the more you exercise, the more you're going to slow the progression. So, he does a lot of boxing, and he loves boxing, a great thing for people with Parkinson's, but bowls is as well. And at a bowls club, it's such a community. So you can go down there and there's always someone to have a bowl with or talk to. And when you walk into a bowls club, you're made feel very welcome. So it's a double whammy. It's to get people out, it's to get them active, it's to get them to, meet other people, and also to talk about it. And so it's not hidden, and people are made more aware of what it is. And, so all of those factors came into, saying I'm going to do this, and asked Heathmont, and they said, yep, you can run it here, and he filled the 3 greens. So I'm very proud of what he's done.
Absolutely wonderful. You guys have done, you're doing an amazing thing, and I think everybody in the bowling community would applaud the philanthropic nature of it and what you're giving back to the community. So this is, as I said, 22nd of October at Heathmont Bowling Club in Victoria. You can go to ourfundraisers.raisley.com/bowl Parkinson's over 25. And you mentioned to me that there's going to be a world record attempt, Annette. Can you
There is.
elaborate a little bit on what that might be?
Well, it's not through the Guinness Book of Records.
Oh.
That's a very expensive
Yes.
thing to do. So we're raising money for a charity, so we don't want to give any money away. But it will be a world record because there's nothing done like this that we are aware of. So it's happening at lunchtime at 1 o'clock, but what we want to get is as many bowlers down there as possible, not just the ones enjoying the day, but anybody bring their 4 bowls down. And I'm not going to tell you any more than that, but if you get down there about 12:30, sign up, and then something is happening at 1 o'clock to get the biggest number that we can. So, even if you can't compete because you can't do the day, come and join us, and you can be there and hear, a few words about the Parkinson's journey, and just join in, buy a sausage on the, from the sausage sizzle, and be part of it. Buy some raffle tickets, and maybe even somebody out there might like to donate to the cause.
Exactly right. So it's 1 o'clock on the 22nd of October. What time do they have to be enlisted by again?
If they got down there around about 12:30, so they can get organised, because it'll be happening at 1. It's obviously in the lunch break between the rounds of bowls.
All right, a world record attempt, Heathmont Bowling Club on October 22nd as well. It is all going to be happening, and mentioned there was 126 players last year, so 42 triples teams.
Yeah.
What are the entries?
So 42 teams of triples.
What are the
and they
entries
play
like?
3 games.
What are the entries looking like this year?
Well, entries are very exciting. We've only got 8 spots left.
Wow, really?
Yes. So that's very exciting.
That's absolutely sensational. So those 8 spots are going to be snapped up very quickly, you would think. And just how thrilled are you the fact that we're only in August and we're still more than 2 months away from the event happening, and it's pretty much all booked out. Nobody else can really enter. It's going to be a packed house at Heathmont. How special does that make you and Rob feel for the fact that you guys have done something wonderful and that people really want to get behind the cause?
Very special, to the point where maybe we need to do it at 2 clubs. We'll have to think about that one. But no, it makes I think people had a really great day. The atmosphere was wonderful. So a lot of them are the returning teams from last year, want to come back and support it. So, yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, we will get a couple of more teams so that we have some emergencies on the day. But, yeah, first in, best dressed, I say.
That's always the way. It's like that with our Australian Open and all the other events that you can enter. You got to get in early because you don't want to be kicking yourself, and this is one that you really don't want to be kicking yourself for missing. And what's so it's $90 entry per team. So if there's 8 spots left as the time of recording, first roll up begins at 9:15 a.m. Sausage sizzle, afternoon tea, prizes for podium finishes. Do we know what those are going to be?
They'll just be. Last year we had monetary prize, but they all donated the money back. So we felt like which was absolutely wonderful, and we appreciated that enormously. But we thought this year, instead of that happening, we would make up lovely hampers full of all sorts of things, so they actually walk away with something. So, we had so many raffle prizes and lucky door prizes and all sorts, lots of giveaways last year, which I think added to the day. And that's our plan this year as well, to give back to those that are helping.
And what's the planning going to look like for you now over the next couple of months? How is it all going to work, and how busy will you and Rob be?
Well, Rob's already been quite busy, and he's been in and out of hospital, and he's been working on his little laptop, mainly getting the raffle prizes now, and sponsors and things like that. That's the biggest thing. We really, as I said, we really want to give back, so we think that's a really important thing to do. So, just looking for support in that way. And, doing up the cards and doing everything so that the draw's done and, people don't get 2 ditch rinks.
You never want to get 2. One's okay, but you never want to get 2. But, well, Annette, You are an absolute inspiration. You and Rob are doing some wonderful work. And Heathmont Bowling Club, 9 the Greenway, Heathmont in Victoria. If you are in Victoria or if you want to get down from interstate, October 22nd, first roll-ups at 9:15. Just go and support the day because it is going to be absolutely magnificent. October 22nd, Bowl Parkinson's over in conjunction with Shake It Up Australia, partnered with the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. So really looking forward to seeing how it goes. Annette, thank you so much for joining me to chat about your last few weeks, which have been incredible on the green, and the next couple of months, which are going to be incredible off the green. You are the most well-rounded individual in our sport, I think. So thank you for joining me on the show this evening. It's been a pleasure to hear about the day.
Can I just say, Val, I really appreciate you supporting this project of ours and giving us the coverage and, raising the awareness in in the same format, but, being behind us is really, really appreciated. And thank you so much for chatting.
Annette Ruffle there, right at Home Emerging Para Jackaroo. What a star she is. And if you do want to enter the event, of course, there's still 8 spots available. So you can email Rob Ruffle, ROBRUFFLE at hotmail.com. So that's the email address, ROBRUFFLE at hotmail.com. That's Rob Ruffle, Annette's husband. So really looking forward to seeing how Bowl Parkinson's Over Day goes at the Heathmont Bowling Club on October 22nd. That's about all I've got time for this evening here on Without Bias. And remember, tomorrow morning from 10 a.m, the Australian Indoor Championships, the second men's semi-final coming up, as well as the women's final at midday. And then at 2 o'clock, the men's singles final. Absolutely cannot wait for the next 3 matches, the final 3 matches of an exciting week at Club Tweed. Really can't wait for it. It's going to be amazing. But until then, enjoy the rest of the week of bowls. Happy bowling. This has been Without Bias for Right at Home, the right care right at home, and Tripadeal. Book your next deal with Tripadeal. I've been Val Febbo. Have a great night.